Welcome to the Real Dad Fitness Podcast. My name is PT.
And my name is Jonathan. Welcome, one and all. We're glad you guys are here.
Welcome to the show. We're two dads here to talk about fitness, conversational podcast. Topics range and vary as our will desires, but we're mostly here to talk about what it means to be trying to be fit and trying to be dads in the real world. That's what we're all about here. So how's it going, Jonathan?
It's going good. Life's been going pretty good. I do have a slight interruption. Thank you, Weston. Please shut the door behind you.
No worries. Putting the real in Real Dad Fitness.
It's part of being a dad. Sometimes, sometimes your kids walk in the middle of the podcast. Life's been going pretty good. Busy, humming along. Summer is like almost over. That's like blowing my mind. One of those summers that just flew by. We got 2 weeks left before the kids are back in school. So.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you?
It's going pretty good. I got a haircut today, and when I got back from getting my haircut, it's like I got on a conference call with some people, and we do like video conference calls. And the first thing someone said was like, "Wow, you look really intense with that haircut, kind of like a serial killer." That's the first code.
That's a horrible comment.
I was like, all right, cool. That's exactly what I was going for. It was not exactly what I was going for, but I was trying to cover my tracks there. So here I am, looking like a serial killer. Good thing we're doing a video podcast.
Great.
But
yeah, you kind of look like a serial killer, dude.
Jonathan and the Serial Killer. We should change the title to that. So the past couple of weeks I've been working on getting outdoors more and spending more time outdoors. So me and my daughter, 2 weekends ago, we spent a lot of the weekend doing geocaching, which was pretty fun. Have you ever done any of that?
No, do tell.
It's pretty cool. It's like if you're not familiar with what it is, it's basically like it's super weird when you first discover it. Our friend Andy told me about it. He was doing it with his kids. It's basically like people go and hide these little tiny like logbooks all over the place or whatever, and you have to find them and sign them. And I was like, that's kind of interesting or whatever. But then I got the app, and the app gets you to within like 30 feet of where the thing is, and then you have to find it. People are good at hiding them, so it's pretty hard to find some of them. But it was crazy when I brought up the app, and it said, like, I wonder if there's any of these near me. And there was just like so many dots around me. There was like 50 dots within like 2 miles of me. I was like, holy cow, this is like this whole other weird little world that I never knew existed. Like, there's people just playing this weird little game and hiding stuff all over. So, like, the first one we found was, like, in the parking lot of the gas station I go to, like, almost every day. It was, like, hidden inside of, like, this lamppost where you had to take off this little panel that wasn't screwed on, and, like, it was hidden in there. And so it was pretty cool, and it's a super fun activity to do with kids because it's like a treasure hunt and kind of thing, and they'll usually give you a couple clues, and you go find these little treasures, and then you find the logbook and you basically just sign it, say that you found it or whatever. Huh. So it's super fun little activity with kids. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, that sounds kind of crazy. Sounds fun.
It just blew my mind when I brought up that app, and I was like, what? There's like 50 of these right around me? This is crazy.
Like, how many people have signed the average logbook thing? Like, is this, is it like you and one other person? Did one person put 50 of those things around?
No. There's like we found 5 of them, and I would say there was probably an average of like 50 signatures on each one or whatever.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of a thing.
Yeah, I'll have to try it out here and see if it's, a thing out in Colorado too.
Yeah, I'm sure it is because it's kind of a I don't know. This is just my sense. I get a sense it's kind of a hippie thing to do, and I feel like you'd have a lot of hippies in Colorado. It's just my
depends on the area. Maybe Boulder might be like littered with those things. I don't know if my neck of the woods would be a little harsher, but
nice. So did that was fun to get outdoors, and then I wanted to get into camping a little bit. So that 2 weekends ago we just camped in the backyard and bought a tent and camped in the backyard, and that was fun. And then this weekend we went and did an actual camping trip out in the woods. So that was super fun. Got to teaching my daughter how to build a fire and how to camp and all that stuff. It's a good time.
Cool. And had you done much camping before with your daughter?
No, this is I haven't really done any camping, I don't think, since she was born. So this was her first time, but she totally loved it, and she wants to go again as soon as possible. So
cool. Well, I'm right at the age. See, So I have two children. Well, obviously, you know this, but for our viewing audience, so I have two children, 3 and 6. And so when my son was born, you don't, at least for me, I thought it was silly to take a baby camping. So we got to 3, and it was just at the point where I'm like, all right, you could probably go camping. And then we had my daughter. So now then we kind of, the reset button there, and then I was like, oh, now, again, don't want to take an infant camping. But now my son is 6 years old, and I'm definitely all about, I want to take him camping. I think he's old enough to, like, really enjoy it. And like, here's my little dilemma. I don't know about dilemma. My thing I was thinking about, and I don't know if you'll be able to answer this one, but I bow hunt elk out in Colorado, a little big game hunting with a bow, and it's kind of cool. Like, I mean, like, I go to these really remote regions up in the Rocky Mountains, like way remote, like 20 minutes outside of cell phone coverage, kind of remote. Just amazingly beautiful landscape, just places to see, climbing up mountains. And I was debating if I should bring Weston, like, on a weekend hunting trip this year. I mean, there's obviously a couple little, like, obviously anyone that's out there that's really against hunting, probably would say no.
Right.
But it's like, I think, I don't know. I'm debating. It would be like a super cool bonding experience. On the other hand, 6 years old, like, a lot of hunting is called just, like, sitting and waiting. I mean, like, we actually do some pretty intense hunting where we actually, like, hike around and stalk the prey and track the herds and call them in. So there's a lot more to it than just, like, sitting in a tree stand or something. But and then plus, then I thought too, like, 6 years old, if I do take down an elk with the bow, it's not exactly PC by today's standards. It's killing an animal. It's a pretty bloody, gruesome thing. So I don't know. What do you think? Is 6 years old, is that too much? Too young? Too much for a 6-year-old?
Well, first of all, I don't think it's a good first camping trip at all. Like, I think you should definitely try to, like, take him regular old. Let's just get this whole camping thing down first, and see if he digs that or not. I think that would be a good test run. I mean, I certainly don't think there's anything wrong with it if you took him. It might be super boring for him though.
That's what I'm a little worried about too, because a lot of it's like, shh, be really quiet and don't make any sounds for an hour.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do like a second weekend kind of a thing. Like, if I get like an elk my first weekend, maybe I'll take him, like, mock hunting. He has a bow and stuff. Like, it's really cute. He calls it his real bow, and it is a real bow. But it's like, for a 6-year-old, it's pretty darn safe. Certainly could never kill an animal or anything like that. But
right.
I think it would floor him pretty good if he got to bring a bow out and come out with me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think that kind of stuff's important. Taking your kids out to the woods and teaching them some skills and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah,
good,
I think it's one of those bonding things. Good memories, all that stuff. Or horrific, if Casey likes,
Nice.
sees what happens when you actually shoot an animal with a bow. But
Right. No way.
Anyway.
I'll only make them tougher.
Yeah, that's right. Toughen some kids up today.
Right.
We need some little men running around.
Indeed.
Cool.
Good times. Yeah. So I'm all about the outdoors. I wanna get more into, not on the dad part, but maybe eventually take my daughter. But I do want to get more into, like, backpacking and do some weekend backpacking trips and stuff. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. You know what? Here's a tip for all you dads out there, and I'm not quite sure why this works. And, like, this is one of the reasons I got into hunting too. Is, like, if you there are many things you can tell your wife you're going to go do with your buddies that she will not let you do, or or at least you'll have to spend a lot of political capital to go do them. Like, if I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go and fly to Vegas for a week with the boys, you're pretty much not going to happen. I mean, maybe if it's like a once-a-year trip you do or something, but there's almost no. Even if you go play a round of golf, you got to really kind of, like, it's got to fit in with the family, and you got to get in all the schedules and stuff. But for some reason, like, hunting is a pretty big, major trip that is pretty awesome. Certainly a cool nature outdoors, if done correctly. Like, if you backpack out in the woods and really, like, set up a tent and camp and climb some mountains and stuff, it's a pretty awesome thing. And for whatever reason, that is in the list of things that it's okay to do as a father and husband. At least that's what I've found, and most of the guys that I know have found the same thing, where you're just like, because you have to do it once for one thing, like, during a certain time period. hunting season is only 1 month out here, so you can't just be like, oh, I'll do it next month. You got to do it. And so for whatever reason, the combination is, if you want to actually like take like a week of guy time, or at least a couple of weekends of guy time, it's a great excuse to go do it. Even if you don't want to go shoot an animal, you just tell your wife, yeah, I'm going to go hunting. Don't bring a bow or a gun. But it's certainly still worth it. It's a fun time, good guy time, kind of like resets your mind and body a little bit. So I highly recommend it.
Interesting. I don't know if that would. Well, I feel like if I said to my wife, "I'm gonna go hunting for the weekend," she'd have a lot of questions like, "Do you know what you're doing? Are you gonna be safe?" Stuff like that. It's like I think your wife grew up with a dad that hunted, right? So she was used to a dude who like left for a while and went and hunted. I feel like my wife would be, if I brought that up, would be like, "It's kind of really like it would just not that she wouldn't let me do it. She totally would. She's super like nice about letting me do basically anything." But she would definitely be like have some questions like and a little bit of a vibe like that's not something that I'm used to. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I would be a little bit worried for you if you just like went off hunting on your own. Because like, no offense or anything, but maybe those would be really valid concerns.
Right.
But
sure.
as long as you were going with somebody, who had some experience with it.
Yeah.
Because as far as I know, you've never really like used any kind of firearm or killed an animal in your entire life. So yeah, maybe.
No.
Hey, need a little preparation.
Indeed. All right. Good times. So that's the outdoors.
Yes.
Let's see. I got some topics, but you got anything that you want to?
Yeah, discuss? I do. I'm going to kind of bounce back a little bit to your haircut issue. Not issue, but your haircut thing. Oh, and what I wanted to mention was, what is your take on like vanity stuff? Like as a, especially as a dad, we'll assume most of you guys out there are married. Obviously we're not trying to mate, we've all got wives, all that stuff. With your with your haircut, I don't think you probably spent too terribly much time thinking about like how am I going to get my haircut, what's it going to look like for my wife. Is there any point
literally my philosophy in getting a haircut is what's the least amount of words I could say to this hair cutting person that's going to get me a haircut. And so that's what I based my decision on.
One, I think that's awesome. Two, is there a point where we should actually, maybe women don't even give a crap. I mean, I would like to think they do to some point. Like, I think guys care a lot more what your wife looks like. But I mean, like, the whole fitness thing plays into this, too. It's not just, like, haircut, but, like, fitness and vanity, like, if you're all ripped and toned and all that stuff. I think that's, like, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think it plays a little bit into, like, your wife's perception of you. I don't know what's too much effort to think about and put into to a marriage as far as like when you're talking about vanity stuff, because eventually you're both like slacking off on that.
Right. Well, here's my theory. It's totally based on nothing but my own observation, which is essentially when you see someone every day, they become essentially like whatever you buy a parallel line to you, like whatever their standard state of fitness or dress or grooming is, that becomes the normal to you, right? So when it becomes a special day and you need to take it up to the next notch, if you set the bar low to begin with, it's much easier to bring it up to the next level. I'm kind of kidding, but kind of not also, because I do think that in marriage, at least I've found in my marriage that however fit or unfit I am or my wife is, kind of it's all the same in the end as far as like how I see her and how she sees me. You know what I mean? Like I don't notice that much, and I don't think she does necessarily. But when you are putting in an extra effort and taking it to the next level, that's noticed, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. Yeah, no, like, because I've definitely noticed that as a huge part of it, is me personally, is like that effort or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the effort is more important than the results. Like, if you're trying to look good or, trying to, like, I guess just be better or, do your best kind of a thing, that's way more attractive than somebody that is just, like, sitting on the couch, watching another episode of TV or whatever. We're just, like, vegging out and being a slob, and it's like, because then you're like, you're a slob. It's terrible.
Right,
It's awful. Or, or if you feel like a slob for doing that kind of stuff. But it's just the effort, I think, makes it worth it. Certainly, like, you know, I don't know. I think it spices things up all the time too. There are always many benefits of fitness, but there's a big one I think is the marital benefits, where you're both like again looking at each other like, hey, they're doing something, they're improving themselves, and I don't know, you just have more energy to do extracurricular activities once the kids go to bed too. So
Sure. Absolutely. Um, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I take your meaning to mean that I need to spice up my grooming game here. You're trying to hint at me.
I'm just subtly hinting at it, dude. No, I'm just
You
gonna
feel like as a podcasting partner, you're not attracted to me anymore. So we often talk on this, or anything else on the hygiene thing before I smoothly move to the next.
It's done.
All right.
We're ready to move on.
So we often talk in this podcast about what you can do for health benefits, and a lot of it's, let's be honest, a lot of it's hard. You got to work out, you got to eat right. That's who wants to deal with that stuff. I've got an article here that's going to tell you a super easy way to give you a health benefit, potentially. Now it might not be quite as good of a health benefit as eating right and exercising and all that stuff, but it's a health benefit nonetheless. And this article comes to us from the New York Times. It's called "Let's Cool It in the Bedroom." And right away, you're going to be like, screw that article. That does not sound like a sweet article. But here's how the article starts. It says, sleep is essential for good health as we know it, but a new study hints there may be an easy, unrealized way to augment its virtues. Lower the thermostat. So this study, basically, to summarize, there is a thing that I was completely unaware of before reading this article called brown fat, which is a type of fat that we didn't until recently believe that adults had. It's basically like baby fat. It's like a more healthy version of fat. It's a fat that like helps you burn calories and stuff like that. And this article found that people who slept at a colder temperature had a higher percentage of development of this brown fat. And adults only have a very small percentage of this brown fat. But this brown fat is extremely beneficial, and it increases your metabolism, and it's very good. So apparently just sleeping at this colder temperature increases your percentage of brown fat. 66 degrees, they said. Man. They said they're two test temperatures where they had people who slept at 70 degrees versus people who slept at 66 degrees. And over the course of, I think it was just like 2 months, they found a significant increase in the brown fat of people who slept at 66 degrees.
Really?
So there you go. Sleep colder, apparently.
I guess. I think I would sleep uncomfortably, though. That would be my big kicker to it. Maybe I can try it. But.
Right. So, this was actually a study on diabetes, because that one of the benefits of that brown fat is it basically takes sugar out of your bloodstream so they're talking about the benefits to potentially helping or prevent diabetes and stuff like that. But good for everyone. If you could stand being cold in the night.
Right. I know some people like to sleep cold. I like it about 90, 95 when I sleep.
Really? Wow. Yeah, I like to sleep cold.
Yeah, my wife likes to sleep cold too, but I know I'm like a weirdo with that. But yeah, certainly if like left to my own devices, yeah, I like it pretty warm when I sleep.
Awesome. Yes. All right. Well, fine. You don't have to.
But I'll try it. No, I'll try it, man. I'll do some cold sleeping.
It also does point out in that article to be a little skeptical that the percentage of brown fat in adults is super, super small. Like we didn't even know it existed until recently. So I question.
No, that's pretty damn small.
Yeah, they said it's basically around your neck and shoulders is where it's the only place that adults have it. So how much does this really help having a little bit more brown fat? I don't know.
Yeah, I would think that cutting out refined sugar if you're diabetic would be infinitely more important.
Right. Hey, every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps. It's good.
All right. I also have an article, kind of controversial article for us here, which is an article that was written in Esquire, and this article is written by a guy, Chef Linton Hopkins. He is the proprietor of a burger pub called Holman and Finch in Atlanta, and he has recently taken over as the burger distributor to the Atlanta Braves stadium, and his whole thing is he provides like super fresh ingredients, and he delivers the bread every day and makes it fresh every day, and everything is grain fed beef and all that stuff, basically no hormones, trying to make it as healthy as possible. So this article, without reading the whole thing, let me just try and summarize it. Basically what he says in this article is that he doesn't like the way that we demonize certain foods in our society. Like if you ask someone, is a cheeseburger healthy, they would say no, basically. And his thing is that, and also if you ask someone, big food is, the big food industry, people would demonize that as well. His thing is that we should be concentrating, instead of demonizing certain types of food, we should be concentrating on making all types of food fresher and figuring out how to provide those fresh types of foods to the masses in the ways that to service the needs that say your McDonald's does today. He wants to try and figure out how we can get fresh, good burgers to the masses in a similar way. So, your thoughts on this matter? What that from that brief summary?
No, I think I think I really agree with his his theory that almost any food can be really unhealthy, or most foods can be pretty healthy, and there's so much like debate as to what exactly is healthy. But to a point, there's certain things I think everyone can agree on. Like if you pull a McDonald's, burger, you've got tons of preservatives. You got like the pieces of 1,000 cows in your average burger. Is that necessarily unhealthy? Maybe. Again, all the white, the white bread that they use, everything that's like pretty much anything that you could actually pick out and be like, yeah, that's pretty much universally thought of as unhealthy in today's nutrition standards, can be packed into like one McDonald's burger. And then, on the same flip side of that, yeah, like I agree with him. Like, you can make a burger that's fairly healthy. You can, whatever, change it to whole wheat, fresh, use an actual. I would substitute beef, honestly, with something else. But whatever, you can make a turkey burger or whatever. Anyway, you can do it with any food. The big challenge is doing it cheaply, doing it in an affordable manner. It would certainly be awesome to see, like, a big chain that used, like, local growers and local food, which, obviously would cut down huge on energy waste, and it would make it a better tasting food and better for you. So why don't we do that, I guess? I mean, is that it, the expense? Because, certainly he's right that...
Yeah, I don't know. The one interesting thing that he brought up, that one little story he told about when they took over the hamburger providing to the Braves Stadium was like they were trying to figure out how to provide like healthier buns that didn't have like 8 million preservatives in them, and like everyone he talked to was like, it's impossible, we can't do it because the buns only come on Wednesdays or whatever, and that's like what everyone kept saying. And then finally it was like, well, why don't we just like deliver the buns each day? And then like no one had like thought of that or whatever before, according to the article. And that's like what they did, is they just started making it fresher each day and delivering it every day. So obviously, yeah, that's gotta up the costs, I guess, delivering it every day and reduce the convenience. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting article because he also talks about how he's a cancer survivor and how he's all big on no preservatives in his food and all that stuff like that. But the one interesting part about the article is that the comments section underneath it, if you look at it, is pretty wild and angry. All sorts of people, basically people on who are like, you're a total jerk, people should be only eating plant-based foods, and then like someone else is like, no, you're a total jerk, people should only be eating paleo style, no buns. Like basically everyone freaking out about how this guy's wrong because they should be eating whatever particular diet they're all about. So, but I like his point. I think it's valid.
Yeah, and yeah, like, that's again where I was like, yeah, it's such a. even if you're like that, okay, even if you're like, you believe that vegan is the way to go, or you believe that paleo is the way to go, or whatever. Again, it's a lot about baby steps. Like, and this is if you're thinking about taking a path like that too. Um, don't knock somebody for trying to make a step in the right direction. And we still don't know exactly where that perfect spot lands. I mean, like, maybe vegan is the absolute best way. If you eat vegan, you'll be healthier and live longer and have less disease. And actually, that's probably a true statement. But realistically, everyone's not going to go vegan. And eating a burger from one cow that was made with fresh ingredients is certainly much, much better for you than eating a burger from McDonald's. So yeah, don't hate that guy. Just agree that he's moving forward in a good direction.
All right, cool. Good deal. The last thing I had for you is while I was playing around at Esquire, I ran into an article on that same site that was kind of off to the side that said 25 skills every man should know. So I thought maybe we could run through the list and see if we, in fact, have these skills or not.
Let's see him. Let's hear him.
Okay. I'll take a drink.
Okay.
And by the way, if my baseline is lower, if I seem less manly than usual today, it's because I just watched an episode of The Bachelorette just before we came on the show. So so that would be why.
You better hit a lot of things on this list, dude, because you got some making up to do.
Hey, just spend some quality time with my wife, All right, first one on the list. I think you have a better shot at this one than me, but number one is, do you know how to skin a moose?
Well, a moose in particular, yeah, I know how to field dress an animal, if that's the question.
Okay. We'll give it to you. And this is an interesting article too, by the way, because each of the things has a link to an article that tells you how to do the thing if you don't know how to do it.
Cool.
Now some of these are very, very much judgment calls, but number two is get a busy bartender's attention. Do you know how to get a busy bartender's attention?
I think so. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Just gotta. Maybe I'm way wrong. Maybe I could do a lot better. But my technique is to take out at least a $20 bill and put it between my fingers and lean way over the bar.
Right. Yeah,
that tends to get him. Yeah, it tends to get him over to you pretty quick.
Good deal. All right, I'm not giving myself that one. I seem to be invisible at the bar, so I'm over 2 so far. All right, number 3, bet on horses. Do you know how to go to a racetrack and place bets on horses?
I do. We have a horse track that I actually really enjoy going to. Did you come to it with me one time?
No.
Okay, that was Greg and Jared. Anyhow, yeah, it's by our house. Super. If anybody wants a really cheap and entertaining afternoon, I guess unless you're crazy and an addicted gambler, this might not work. But for a regular person, yeah, you can go and bet $5 on each race. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it, which is what this article is alluding to. You can bet a trifecta, you can bet place, show, win, all of that stuff. But it's really fun. You can throw out a bet on every single race. Odds are you're going to hit at least one race, and you'll either win a little bit or lose a little bit. But it's certainly a great, fun afternoon.
Cool. All right, I'm not giving myself that one either. I'm over 3 so far. Number 4. All right, this one's a judgment call. There's no man on earth who would say that they, fail at this one. But give a good massage. I feel like you could give a good massage.
I'm gonna give myself. I think Mandy would agree that Mandy being my wife would agree that I am thoroughly practiced. I don't know if I could give a good massage to anybody, but at least I know how to give a good massage to her. So yeah.
Nice.
Given many, 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 many massages. So.
All right, giving myself that one. All right, number 5, fell a tree. Do you know how to properly fall a tree? Cut down a tree.
Yeah. Again, oddly enough, to prove that I'm not just full of it. When I grew up, we actually heated our house with a wood-burning stove. So I have, used a chainsaw and cut down many wood and dried it and blah 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 all that stuff. So I'm pretty experienced. Yeah, at taking down trees.
Nice. All right, I'm not giving myself that one. I'm only got one so far. All right, number 6. Buy a woman clothing. Do you know how to buy a woman clothing?
No, I'm out.
All right, good. In that case, you get it because the correct answer is don't ever do this. So there you go.
Okay, well, good.
Well done. All right, fillet of fish. Do you know how to fillet a fish?
I do. Got my fish filleting technique down.
Nice.
For all of you, yeah. Do you know how to fillet a fish?
Yeah, I'm gonna give myself that one.
Sweet, sweet.
All right. Do you know how to make an egg 4 ways? Scrambled, baked, poached, and sunny side up.
No.
All right.
I'm a pretty poor cook.
I do know that one. All right, this is another one that every guy's going to say yes to, but I guarantee I could kick 99% of everyone's asses at this. And this is Google efficiently.
Google efficiently.
Yes.
Boy, I'm on the cusp on this one. I'm not a big techie person. I certainly always find the answer, but I think probably, you may, especially if you're thrown down like that. I'm guessing you can find the answer much quicker than I could.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Whenever I'm on a conference call and somebody wants to find the answer to something, I'm always the first one. All right. I definitely am out on this one. Sew a button. Can you sew a button?
Cannot. Should learn how to do that.
All right. We should both be able to do this. Console a crying woman.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Sure, the trick is don't suggest anything. Don't give any advice. Don't tell them how to fix the problem. That's my tip for free to all you guys out there.
Nice.
Just say, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
My technique is to say, "Why are you crying? You shouldn't be crying. This is not an issue worth crying over." All right, number 12. Do you know how to look good in a picture? So, do you know how you personally look your best in a picture?
I don't know. I don't have my picture taken very often. Are we talking like selfies here, or like a
No, we're talking about if someone's
portrait?
someone's like, you're at a party, someone's like, hey, let me take you guys this picture. Do you know how to position yourself correctly to give you the optimal look? No, good. Me either. That's not a skill. Any bad deeds. I call it crime BS on this list. All right, number 13. Calm a crying baby.
Yeah.
We should both be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
Parallel park like a man.
Yeah, I'm a decent parallel parker. I parallel park my truck on occasion. I think if I had like a normal sized car, it would be pretty easy.
Nice. I'm the worst parallel parker ever. I'm out on that. Wire a ceiling fixture.
Like, no problem. Do that in my sleep.
Not me. I should learn that though. This one I should know. Make pancakes from scratch.
I'm gonna say no, because just judging by that question, Bisquick is out.
Right.
Then no.
Yeah, I'm out of that too. Come on, Esquire. It's going slow. We've got 5 more.
Yeah, we gotta finish out the list.
Stop a running toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know how to do that. One of the few household things I know how to do.
Nice. It's an important one.
Yes. All right, we're both going to say, I'm just going to say we're both going to say yes to this, but rock the man in the boat, by which they mean sexually. Yes. All right, let's move on from that one. Carve a turkey.
Yeah, I've carved quite a few Thanksgiving birds.
Yeah, I know my way around a carving knife as well. Make a drink just for her, and by this they mean, do you have any like girly cocktails that you are good at making?
I do. I've got a host of. I had a bar in my old house. I built a bar in my basement, and had a. You saw my bar. It was pretty much stocked to about the level of any actual bar.
Right, just
so
pretty sweet.
Yeah, yeah. So I practiced making many, many different drinks.
Nice. Jumpstart a car. Man, if you've I can't imagine there's anyone who doesn't know how to do that, but maybe that's just because I've had so many crappy cars.
Maybe
I've
because
had to jump a lot.
yeah, no, I just recently was in Breckenridge, Colorado for the beer festival this last weekend, and in our like little resort place, I went down to get the car, and there were definitely somebody who was trying to jumpstart their BMW, and I could tell they had no idea how the process works. Kind of blew my mind.
Nice. Speaking of that, man, this weekend when I was camping, the guy across from me, he pulled in. He and his wife were trying to put up their tent for at least an hour, and I should have gone and helped him, but I was like just getting my fire going and stuff like that, which I still should have gone and helped them, but I didn't. And about after well over an hour of trying to put up the tent, they just loaded everything up in the car and left.
Oh no! What a
I
bummer.
felt really bad after that. I was like, oh, I should have
Yeah, you
helped
should have
him.
done something there, man.
All right, two more. Kill an injured animal.
Yes.
I've never done it, but I mean, I know the concept.
Right, right. I'm willing to bet you could figure it out.
Shine a shoe.
Yeah, I haven't done it in a long time, but my dad, that was one of my little growing up lessons my dad taught me for Sunday mornings.
Nice. And the last one is coming up. Oh, no, wait, it's just an ad for one of their books. All right, we've done it. I didn't keep score, but I think you beat me. But there you go, some good skills for men. I'll put a link to that in the show notes because it's kind of cool. If there's any that you don't know, you can read an article about how to do that item.
Cool.
So good job, Esquire.
Nice.
Cool. That's all I got. Anything else from you before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I think I guess I forgot to ask how your fitness week was.
It was pretty good. It was all right. I did some running, and yeah, that was about it. This coming week, though, I'm going to be traveling all week. By the way, I won't be around to record next weekend. We're going to Wisconsin, visit some family. So it'll be interesting to see if I can maintain my fitness on the road. I think I can.
That's right. If it's just visiting family, actually, never mind. I take it back. Depending on the family, that could be easier or harder.
All right.
So, but yeah, well, good luck. Stay true.
All right.
Cool.
I will do my best. So I guess we will see you in 2 weeks then.
All right, 2 weeks it is.
And until then, this is PT. I got to run.
Stay real, stay fit, dads. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
I'm trying to stop the recording. I can't do it. Hang on, listeners. Hold on.
Still says live.